I think I was being very truthful about what I was going through. And I said it in my post. So I'm not going to make it into this weep fest because I don't believe in that. I want it to be a certain way, but I'm not going to hide the truth also.
To handle a situation with that much grace without carrying that with you everywhere.
Yeah.
These are the things that I take away when I work with, people like her who come from this experience, not just as actors, but in life.
Farah was the choreographer. So she's saying, you've married the Bell family, the Punjabi family, you've gone into the tummy is out and all that. And we're laughing about it also. I said, yeah, it's all the parathas I'm eating. We're laughing about it.
Wow.
Then I called her up. I said, Farah, you know what? This is the...
It's not the paratha.
Yeah,
surprise, surprise.
She's like, what? Hi, this is Sonali Bendre.
Hi, I'm Shriya Pilgaonkar.
And you're watching us on
ETimes.
Hi, this is Samina Sheikh here, and with me today I have the gorgeous Sonali Bendre and Shriya, welcoming both of you on ETimes.
Thank you so much.
To begin with the show, the broken news, how many times have you both fallen prey to broken news?
Broken to the breaking news or to the broken
To the broken news.
I think we are all falling prey to broken news a lot more now than ever before.
Don't you somewhere feel during this lockdown there is this urge of falling prey to such news and just getting, carried away by it? Ever since this lockdown somewhere?
I don't know if it has anything to do with lockdown or not, but where we're living in a digital age now, it's this WhatsApp culture, it's this convenient tweeting and putting things out there without verification culture, I guess, whatever it's called. But I think लोग वही सुनते हैं eventually जो वो सुनना चाहते हैं, जो वो believe करना चाहते हैं. So a lot of it is also depending on the person receiving the information, because you can do everything you want to speak the truth, but the person hearing should want to hear and accept that. So I think it goes both ways.
Have you ever got carried away by any WhatsApp stories which you have read? Oh, this has come on WhatsApp and it must be true without verifying and all. Okay, tickets come like that. So many times it happens that there are WhatsApp forwards like acha ye cheez hua hai, and sometimes you feel like there's this urge of believing such stories. Has that happened?
I think that would be much in the beginning of WhatsApp. Can I say call it culture? Would it be the right thing?
No,
it would be
just like
just where. But I think we caught on quite soon that do we really believe it? I think I agree with what Shriya said. It's the culture now, or the age is that what we are living in is the digital age or the information age.
Yeah.
We've gone through the industrial age, it's the information age now. अभी जो भी आपके सामने है वो है information है, और हम confuse करते हैं information को knowledge से. And knowledge is good. We all need knowledge. You revere it. It's education. It's balance. It's like education. But what we always thought that newspapers or news gave us knowledge. And what is happening is that now we come to realize that information and knowledge are two very different things, and we should not be mixing that up.
True.
Because information is something that's been given to you, and then you need to do the due diligence. You need to verify that is this information right or is this information wrong. So I think उसमें क्या है, viewers का भी एक बनता है कि वो देखे कि जो मुझे इंफॉर्मेशन मिल रही है ये सही है, गलत है, या इसका बैकग्राउंड क्या है, ये कहाँ से आ रही है. और अगर आपको एक सॉर्ट ऑफ बैकग्राउंड पता चलने लगे तो आप समझ जाएंगे कि ये ऐसी इंफॉर्मेशन क्यों दी जा रही है या क्यों नहीं दी जा रही है. सो इट्स नॉट वेरी डिफिकल्ट. एक बार अवेयरनेस आ जाए तो इट्स नॉट वेरी डिफिकल्ट टू अंडरस्टैंड दैट. लेकिन आई थिंक जो लैकिंग है वो है अवेयरनेस. एंड आई थिंक हमारा जो शो है वो देख के दैट अवेयरनेस विल बी मोर, क्योंकि एक समझ में आएगा कि न्यूज रूम्स कैसे चलते हैं. बिहाइंड द कैमरा जब न्यूज प्रेजेंट किए जाते हैं क्या क्या करना पड़ता है, उसके पीछे क्या क्या होता है.
behind
drama in itself. वो एक headline के लिए. And also I'm playing a news producer in this show, and I'm also a news anchor at some point. But to sort of, even for me to understand that, it's so easy to just consume news, but there's so much goes into different news channels, who have perhaps different philosophies, different ways of doing it. So it's interesting also because, हम सबके किरदार बहुत अलग हैं, and for example, for my character Radha, of course वो सच्ची कहानियाँ present करना चाहती है, stories that she's passionate about, but she also knows that in a world where there's so much noise, उसे impactfully या powerfully ही वो मतलब present करना है. ऐसे नहीं कि बस कह दिया, because सच मानना इतना easy होता नहीं है. You know, people find it boring, right?
That's true.
So I think that's her struggle. So it's interesting to see how she is, you know, with Dipankar, with Amina, where she keeps oscillating between the two.
At the same time, it's your digital debut, and you know, when you were offered this role, you know, how were you mentally ready for this one? Because it's a lot. It's a lot of revealing a lot of characters in one person itself.
I think for me the selling point of it was the script and the character I play. There were a couple of things that whenever I came back to doing fiction, I was very clear that I wanted. And most of the boxes this show has ticked for me. I wanted to play my age. I wanted to play a character that had a voice. And I wanted the show to have some meaning. I needed some sort of a relevance, and I wanted it to have hope. And I think Broken News kind of ticks all those boxes for me. And what was interesting about the show was the fact that you look at it in a very, when you're looking at news, it's a headline, or even for the newspaper or for anything, it's the headline that you're looking at, and you're looking at what is the thing. Why is this happening? How is it happening? You know, there are so many human beings behind it. And where there's human beings, there is joy, laughter, drama, and so many human emotions which make for great stories. And so this was a place which was not explored as much. And I really wanted to, when I started reading it, I wanted to know how that works and how does the newsroom work, what happens in it. I play Amina Qureshi, who's the editor-in-chief of Awaz Bharti. And then I understood how important newsrooms were, and how newsrooms have a character of their own, and they are the character of their editor-in-chief. It's editor-in-chief who runs the newsroom, and kind of the thought process goes down from there. What gets approved, what doesn't get approved. And you suddenly think that, oh my God, editor-in-chief is all powerful in a newsroom. Then you realize nobody is really all powerful. There are the investors, there are the owners. There's so many aspects to, putting out the news. So I thought it was very, very interesting, all the behind the scenes, and it helped me with the fact that I wanted some sort of a relevance. I thought there was nothing more relevant than this for today's times.
With fame comes responsibility, and at the same time, when you are both so famous with your respective roles, with your journey, sometimes also media gets quite personal. There's a thin line between getting personal to getting too personal also. Do you somewhere feel that that is something where the media fraternity should be working on? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, where respecting somebody's space, or what was the word that you used? Getting personal.
Getting personal.
I thought mobile phone cameras did that. So right now, the moment there were cameras on the phone, there was nothing personal. There was nothing respectful. Nothing was left. You could be anywhere and somebody was clicking and they were putting it out. Social media came and added to it. So I would say that we are in that culture. That's the zone we are living in. I would not say that it's because the media doesn't respect. I don't think anybody does anymore. I mean, if people suddenly call you on your mobile and you say, listen, it's my private number, they think that you are an antiquated person speaking from another era. I mean, who says that this is not the number, and call the office or whatever. It doesn't exist. So what I feel is personal space is not thought of by this generation. So the definition of that has changed. So what can we say? It's not about the media. I would say that's the zone we are living. And that's what I think is so important, because I feel with Broken News, what we are doing is showing the mirror to the society. Because this is what we are heading for, and this is where we are going, kind of a zone. Where are we going? What is happening? Because the tagline that says, aap kya dekhenge? Sansani as such. It's a superb question, because that's what we all need to answer. Ki aap kya dekhenge? Eventually, news is a business. And you can't say it should not be a business, because anything that needs investment is going to be a business. Nobody's going to put good money and not make something out of it. But I feel media, like education and medical, doctors and nurses and hospitals, is a service business where there is a certain kind of service. So profit margins are not the only thing. They need to stand for something. There is a certain kind of service and dignity that they need to hold on to, certain qualities that they need to uphold, and it's very important that they do that. Hence, I understand the business part of it, but there is something beyond that they need to go. And I think all we are doing is showing the mirror that this is what happens. These are the compulsions. What are you going to watch? If it is a business, there's going to be the law of demand and supply. If there's a demand, there's going to be supply. Vice versa, they say there's supply, that's why we are demanding. I don't agree that. I genuinely believe that if there is no demand, there will be no supply. So
True. That's true.
that's where I stand.
Yeah, what do you have to say on that?
Look, when there is so much noise out there, I understand everyone is fighting for attention. Everyone is doing what they think is their job, which you get. But I think as an individual, you have to understand and set your own boundaries. There are many actors who are comfortable with that much attention, who want to be seen that much, and there is no judgment. Fair enough if that's the life they choose. But if you're an actor who does not want that, फिर आपको अपने बाउंड्रीज बहुत स्ट्रिक्टली प्रेजेंट करने पड़ते हैं. तो जब भी हम ऐसी चीजें मीडिया में देखते हैं, इट इज ऑफन बोथ पार्टीज आर इन्वॉल्व्ड इन मेकिंग दैट हैपन. इट्स नॉट जस्ट वन पर्सन infringing on the other's space. That's how I look at it. And I feel like it is so powerful to have a camera, to have a voice, for people to hear you. I feel like people in that position need to be reminded the impact. And in our show, in an entertaining way, this is what we've shown, that all these different people, whether it's Jaideep's character in Josh 24/7, or Ameena, who's my boss, or Radha, who's a news producer, how are they even in their personal life? Because personal, professional, it all, it impacts each other. So seeing this behind the scenes aspect is a new thing. I don't know if there's been a show in the Indian context wherein we've seen it in that much detail.
Also, the beauty of it, what she said is so true, that we have, every episode has a new story that you're going into, and you're kind of figuring that out, and yet there is this overarching kind of a mystery that's going on also. So there is a lot of, there is the drama, but there's a lot of thrill in it also, as to where is it going and how is it happening, what has actually happened, what is this mystery. So I think it's been put together really, really well.
And also just, I'm not trying to bring, your example, but, of course, when your news broke, when you were going through, cancer, I was myself in tears while covering the story. And I was like, oh my God, that is the kind of attachment you have when you're covering about your stars, about your actors and all. And, I really felt very bad. I was like, oh my God, like, oh, she's on such a stage. And honestly, and, I actually felt like, oh my God, will we lose her? Like, the kind of stories were coming out. Yeah. So that is where we had to, like, think while covering also. What do you have to say about that? Because that time, the kind of stories were coming in that, oh, she's on such a level right now that there is no chance of, she being saved from her life and all. And that was very shocking, for us to hear also.
So it was not very far from the truth, because I was on the 4th stage and it was a very touch and go situation. And so I think I was away from a lot of it. Having said that, I really feel that I had put out most of the things, what I wanted to say about my illness, I had put out myself. There were 1 or 2 times when there were rumors about me having already passed or stuff like that, which were sort of irresponsible because it affects the families. But other than that, I think most of the media, I think, was very sensitive to how they were covering it. And I think they were picking up most of it from my social media feed and what I was putting out, and was taking it from there. So in that sense, I would say that, see, again, like what Shriya said, it's a give and take. It's how you approach it and how, if you're not trying to make I think I was being very truthful about what I was going through. And I said it in my post. So I'm not going to make it into this weep fest, because I don't believe in that. I want it to be a certain way, but I'm not going to hide the truth also. And I think because that honesty was there, I think that was respected. And I really appreciated the fact that that had been respected.
Also, you recently revealed that you didn't even know that you were expecting your first child while you were shooting. What exactly is the story? Yeah, like you didn't even know, because you were shooting for a song, you were dancing that time. So, of course, like that was very surprising. Did that really happen?
Of course, I was not
She said it herself. Why would she lie
myself.
about that?
Yeah. I was shooting for, you know which song, that
Yes,
Marathi
yes,
song
yes.
that we were shooting for. Farah was the choreographer. You know, she's telling me that, listen, because I always had washboard, or in fact concave abs, you can say. So I was really like, she's saying, it's gone, now you've married, and she knows the family really well. So she's saying, you've married the Bell family, the Punjabi family, you've gone into the tummy is out and all that, and we're laughing about it also. I said, yeah, it's all the parathas I'm eating. We're laughing about it.
Wow.
Then I called her up, I said, Farah, you know what? This is the...
It's not the paratha.
Yeah,
Surprise,
the paratha.
surprise.
She's like, what? And then she was replaying it in her mind that what did we do? And I was like, yeah, but we had so much fun doing the song.
Wow.
Yeah.
I have to just mention, when you spoke about sort of her illness, I realized that for me to see someone who's a public figure handle something like this with so much grace, I feel like sometimes when you're going through something, you don't understand the emotional impact it has on other people, or how they can relate to it in their lives or anything. So I must tell you, because I don't think I've said this to you before, but to handle a situation with that much grace without carrying that with you everywhere.
Yeah. That's
Some
true.
people carry these things with them, but she doesn't have that energy at all. In fact, I remember her mentioning that sometimes it just makes her uncomfortable to just, let's not talk about it. I mean, we're in a different stage. So, I mean, for me at this stage of my life, as an actor who's started off just recently, these are the things that I take away when I work with, people like her who come from this experience, not just as actors, but in life, And I think being an actor actually just makes you work on yourself as a person also so much, People don't understand who are not in the profession that it's almost oddly a spiritual experience being an actor, because you're making and breaking yourself constantly in different paths.
You're so much involved in your different characters that sometimes you forget your own journey, where exactly it's leading you.
No, because you're going through so many journeys
Absolutely.
in these various characters, and you're living those lives without actually living them.
Yes.
So
Which is a privilege, actually.
One important message for the media out there, when it comes to covering stories and all.
I think not just for the media, I think for everybody, that we need to understand truth. What is truth? And I think as society also, we are kind of moving away from that. And as long as we are going to be true to something, certain truth, कभी-कभी हमें भी मजा आता है जब ट्रूथ को थोड़ा सा हम गार्निश करके सजा के बोलें तो अच्छा लगता है, लेकिन वो जो सजावट है उसका बेसिस ट्रूथ होना चाहिए, ये बहुत जरूरी है. कई बार उसका बेसिस आजकल ट्रूथ भी नहीं होता है, एंड दैट इज सैड.
I would just say कि हम सब इंसान हैं यार, मतलब सबकी एक अलग अलग वे में उनकी जिंदगी में लड़ाइयाँ चल रही हैं, तो हम क्यों एक दूसरे के लिए जिंदगी और कठिन करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं. थोड़ा बहुत तो समझ सकते हैं ना, एंड इंटेंशन समझना जरूरी है. गलतियाँ तो सब लोग करते हैं, हमसे भी होती हैं, आपसे भी होती हैं, बट ऐसा नहीं है. देयर आर लॉट्स ऑफ गुड पीपल आउट देयर एज वेल टू बैलेंस आउट others who maybe don't have
do
the best
you
intentions.
both like get carried away, or I would not use the word carried away, but get excited when there is some juicy gossip which comes out? And
See,
there's
everybody loves gossip. I'll be honest.
Gossip, not controversial things, but gossip. Like, okay, ठीक है, ये gossip आया है बाहर, okay, this person is fighting with this person, or maybe
but
cat
when
fights
you're
and
on
all.
this side now, you know that you have to take it with a pinch of salt. I mean, because tomorrow it can be about you. So while everybody loves to hear gossip, they love it only until the point that it's not about them.
It's not about the person.
Also, at the same time, you know in your heart that the nature of gossip is such that you listen to it, whatever, you don't know whether it's true or not, and you let it go. The scary part is
gossip.
News is not gossip. News is very... that's right. News is quite...
That's the whole thing.
It's impacting
what is the meaning of gossip? Gossip is something that you speak about somebody, information pass on kar diya, and you know, us time pe, oh, acha, okay.
Yeah.
Done. It should not get vicious.
And when gossip turns into news, that's the scary part. I think that differentiation needs to be there.
It was lovely chatting with both of you, and I must say you both have a lot of knowledge about journalism, and thanks a lot for such a lovely interview, and all the very best for your upcoming projects. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
That shows we prepped well for our role. Give me 5.